I'm going to break down step by step in detail exactly how to handle every single objection, whether on a sales call, during a presentation, or even door to door if that's what you're into. As my framework will work in any industry, in any niche, and is guaranteed to improve your close rate immediately after implementing it. And if it doesn't, well, you can come back here and dislike this video. My name is Brendan Zato Hogan, and 2 years ago, I left the military and began working in remote high-ticket sales for Brian Tracy, closing deals ranging between $11,000 to $89,000 US dollars. And this is the exact framework that I used, which helped me land more clients, make more money, and move to Thailand in order to start living my dream life in my 20s. The best part is that I did all of this without any prior experience, without any degree, and I started alongside my main job. And by the end of this video, I'll give you my exact objection handling process for free so you can just copy me. But first, let's talk about some things to keep in mind. An objection, as I'm sure you are already aware, is just a concern or a reason that the buyer or prospect gives for not purchasing, which is normally triggered by resistance, which is normally caused by the salesperson if they're untrained. The salesperson has been creating that resistance and carrying it through the entire conversation, and after the pitch, then the prospect naturally gets defensive. This is why it is crucial to nail the fact-finding phase or the beginning part of the call in a way that makes you seen as a leader and as an advisor, not as a salesperson. This is done by asking strategic questions in order to find out your prospect's current situation, their goals, their challenges, and any potential obstacles that may be holding them back from starting. The sale is made in this fact-finding phase, and if done properly, once you master the front end of the sales process, then you should not be getting very many other objections other than the logistical ones, which we'll talk about. Objection prevention is far better than objection handling. If you can find their objection during this fact-finding, discovery portion of the call, and handle it then and there as opposed to waiting towards the end, you'll be 10 times better as a sales rep who does not. Be certain, because your confidence must overcome their doubts, and do not take objections personally. We can do everything right and still get hit with these objections. You must keep in mind that they aren't rejecting you, and it's just a normal response as a human to instinctively say no and avoid commitment. Change the language that you use in order to help you enter into the inevitable objection handling process. Think in your head and then give off in your tonality that I'm concerned about you and I want to help you out with XYZ. For example, the prospect says, "It's too expensive." You could reply with, "Yeah, that's not a problem, just to see if I can help you out, because that could mean a few different things. What do you mean exactly? Is it that you don't have the investment, or is it just a bit of uncertainty around the investment or maybe the program itself?" This, of course, will get you the true objection. Always be calm during this. Sit back in your chair if you need to. Speak slowly. Speaking fast will put the prospect into fight or flight and trigger more resistance. The way I'm speaking now is much faster than how you should be speaking when you're on a sales call or objection handling in general. I even will throw up a sticky note on my screen saying slow down during this, just to remind myself. Any visible frustration, anger, anxiousness, or sporadic behavior will lose you sales. The only 6 objections that exist are value, trust, time, money, partner, and fear. I highlighted money and fear because the other 4 can be pre-handled during the fact-finding discovery phase of the call in the beginning, where money and fear are normally hidden until the end. And all of these 6 objections can be broken down into 2 categories: logistical and fear. Logistical being they just simply cannot make it work, they don't have enough time, not enough money, they don't see the value. And fear being that they're just nervous about dropping money over the phone and investing into themselves, which for most people you speak with will be their first time doing so. So you want to help them overcome this fear together on the call. Value and trust, like I said, should be handled prior to objection handling through a proper discovery. Always address money first if they do not give it to you. Then move on to partner, then fear. This is very important. Think about it. Is not a real objection and should never be accepted on a sales call. Nobody needs more time to make a decision. All they need is more information. This is a smokescreen. The sooner you realize that, the better. 4-time objection. Logistical, simply not the right timing, but they are completely bought in. Then you can collect the deposit on the call and schedule them for a follow-up on the same call. And for fear, this is something that should be handled during discovery. If it's a time and fear objection, you can handle it by asking these questions. Do you have 5 hours per week to commit towards this? Yes? Okay. Why is this a priority for you now? What if you didn't get the help you needed and stayed stuck for another 6, 12 months, 5 years, whatever it may be? You need to really get them to feel the future pain here in order to pre-handle the time objection, which is what these questions are developed to do. For money, logistical, meaning they are broke so you can offer them financing or payment plans, and money fear, meaning it is just a smokescreen. They are using it as a way to hide the true objection, which we'll talk about more. Partner or support, logistical, being that they are really not the decision maker. They need to speak to their partner, the ball and chain, their accountant, whatever it may be. Or they are the decision maker and it is just a smokescreen, which we will figure out through the proper questions. And fear, meaning it is the right thing for them. They have enough money. They like what you do. They have the time. But something is internally holding them back. And we're here to figure out what that is. The best way to overcome objections is by preventing them. I said it before, I will say it again. Ideally, do this during the discovery phase, the fact-finding part of the call. But if not, then the next best way is through a temperature check. Remain calm and expect the objections to come, and this will help you prepare for when they do. Like I said earlier, come from the same side, not you against me, but us against the issue, and remove uncertainty before the price drop, and you'll remove uncertainty-based objections, only leaving room for the logistical ones. Now, before you reveal the price, ask the following question. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground here. Is there anything else on your end that you feel we haven't discussed that you think I should know? Prospect says, nope, don't think so. Or maybe they give you the real objection. But if they say no, okay, well, in terms of the process, how do you feel? Like, yeah, I feel great. I feel good. I feel like it's what I'm looking for. Nice. Move on to the next question. Or if they say, I feel okay. I feel fine. Then you need to probe. You feel just fine. What questions do you have? Anything I can clear up for you? Again, here trying to get the real objection before we drop the price and the smoke screens start flying out. And then move on here. So based on the plan we've gone through, do you feel like this can actually get you to making $10K per month? If they sound unsure, okay, I sense some hesitation. What's behind that? Let me ask you this. Is there any reason you feel it can't get you to making $10K per month? Prospect says, no, guess not. Well, why do you feel like it can? And this is the question you were trying to ask the entire time. Based on the plan we've gone through, do you feel like this can get you to $10K per month? Yeah, I feel like it could. Okay. And why do you feel like it can? You want the prospect to sell themselves to you on your product. I feel like it can because the coaching, accountability, live calls, and from here, where would you like to take things? Would you like to go over pricing? Leave it up to them. Let them feel like they're the decision maker in the call. And every single time that you get an objection, you must first defuse. That's not a problem. I completely hear you. Yeah, no worries. Avoid justifying or agreeing with their objection with things like, yeah, I understand. And then isolate the objection. Funding aside, partner aside, are you 100% in? Or is the investment the only thing stopping you from moving forward? If we can make it more affordable to fit into your budget, would you feel comfortable moving forward today? Hitting them with a hypothetical scenario gives you infinity leverage because it's a hypothetical scenario and you can play with it however you'd like. Or if it's a partner objection, if it was just you, partner aside, if it was just you, would you give yourself a chance today to get the tools you need so you can make the money you want so you can live the life you're wanting to live? If not, okay, what specifically is keeping you uncertain or less than 100% sure? And then finally tie down. Knowing that you'd have the coaching, accountability, live calls like you mentioned earlier that you think would help you. Is there any reason you feel you wouldn't be successful like the students we've worked with in the past? You can even insert a testimonial here. And now let's move into how to specifically handle each objection. This is how you'll handle the think about it objection, which is essentially someone just telling you that they have an objection. They just do not feel comfortable yet telling you exactly what it is because nobody needs more time. They just need more information to make a decision or more certainty. So when someone tells you, I just need to think about it, you'll say, yeah, of course, okay, that's not a problem. before you do go and take some time to think it over, could I ask what's coming up for you that makes you want to think about it, just to see if I can help you. This will try to get their real objection. If they still say, yeah, I just want to take some time. Okay, I completely hear you. So would you say it's a case of uncertainty then around the investment, or is it that you just don't have the investment? I don't have the money. Okay, then now it's money and logistical. Try to get them over it. Or if they say, I do have the money, then okay, got it. Can I ask, what is the uncertainty about specifically? Is it about our offer? Is it yourself? Is it the company? Is it me? Help me understand. This will try to get them to reveal a fear objection, which we'll speak about later on. But if they do say, oh, I just don't want to think about it, you'll say, okay. It seems like there's some hesitation, and typically, when someone tells me they need to think about it, they're either one, not interested, or two, interested, just not sure. Which one of those two options best describes how you're feeling right now? The prospect is going to say interested and not sure, because if they say not interested, then okay, end of the call, doesn't matter, move on, burn the lead. But when they say, yeah, I'm interested, just not sure, then follow up by saying, okay, if the price was perfect and you had the investment in your hand, would you move forward? Of course, here they're going to say, well, yeah, I mean, if the price was perfect and I had the money in my hand, then yes, I would move forward. And you can move along to the money objection, which we'll cover here in a moment. Here's how you're going to handle the money objection. The prospect says, yeah, it's just a lot of money. You'll say, okay, I hear you. Just to see if I can help, because that could mean many different things to many different people. In what way exactly? Is it that you don't have the investment, or is it just a bit of uncertainty around the investment or the program itself? Prospect will say, no, I have the money. You'll say, okay, got it. Can I ask then, what is the uncertainty about specifically trying to, again, uncover the real objection if it's fear? But if they double down and just continue on saying it's just expensive, just a lot of money, you'll follow up with, okay, let's say money wasn't an issue here, and I just sent you $10K, or you just found a bag with $10,000 in it on the ground. Would you do it then? Prospect says, well, yeah, I mean, it's free at that point. Okay, can I ask why? Because you could just take that money and go on a trip to the Bahamas. Prospect will say, well, because I think it'll help me with XYZ. You are getting them to justify the program to you and sell themselves and convince themselves on why this is going to benefit them. After they give you those answers, those reasons, you'll say, okay, what I'm hearing is that you're 100% in with the process, the program, and everything, but the only thing that's keeping you from moving forward is just being able to make it work financially. Prospect will say, yeah, pretty much. Because of course it was free. Everyone would do it. Understood. If that's the case, then if there was a way to break down the investments into more manageable installments so that you can start the process and get to making $10K per month, would that be helpful? Prospect says, yeah. And then you hit him with what I like to call an open wallet test. Sure, the thing is that we don't have predefined payment plans, and everything we do is customized to fit based on each person's individual goals. So what we normally do is we first take a look at your current financial situation just to see if there's anything we can do. And then from there, if there's an option, I'd be happy to walk you through it. Would that help? Prospect says, yeah. Okay, so let's first get a clear picture of where you're at financially now and until the next 30 days. When it comes to cash on hand, capital available now, what are we looking at? Prospect says, yeah, I have 4K right now. Okay, and how about 30 days from now? Prospect says, in 30 days, I can have another 2K. You'll say, okay, so in that case, if we were able to break it down into 2 installments, first one being 4K and 30 days later 2K, would that work for you? Prospect says, let's do it. Or, backtracking, if the prospect up here just says, I do not have the money, you'll say, okay, would you like me to see how we can break this down further for you? Rather than investing it all up front, would that help you move forward so we can get you to making 10K per month? You're like, okay, what payment plan would suit you financially each month without having to affect your bills? We can split this up into 2 payments of 4K and 2K if that makes things easier for you. And the prospect just continues to say that's too much money. You'll say, okay, got it. I understand money might be an issue for you here. How do you think we can resolve that? Where can you find the funding so you can get the training and the coaching that you need in order to help you achieve your goal? Have you considered putting it on a credit card or just paying it off from the profits that you make in your business from the training that you'll get from us? And from here, if they really are broke, you can just try to get a deposit, schedule them on a follow-up call, give them time to get the money together. Let's hop into the next one. Now, here's how you're going to handle the partner objection. I need to speak to my wife, my accountant, whatever it may be, my ball and chain. Prospect says that to you, you say, yeah, that's not a problem. I have a partner myself, so I completely understand. Before you do go and chat with your partner, by the way, what's your partner's name? I feel weird calling them partner. You can say that, get a little more personal if you'd like. They'll say, yeah, Jesse. Okay, cool. Before you do go and chat with Jesse, do you genuinely feel like this can help you hit your goal? Because that is the most important part. Prospect says, yep. Okay, so is there any reason why Jesse wouldn't want you to be making 10K per month? No, I guess not. Okay, cool, and I'm curious. Does the investment fit within your budget, or would that be totally impossible for you at the moment, no matter what? Prospect says, no, I don't have the money. Okay, then handle the money objection in the training we just covered. If they say, yes, I do have the money, you'll reply with, okay, in that capacity, I suppose when you do go to your partner, what do you feel would be the potential obstacles that may stop you or them from moving forward with this? Try and uncover the real objection here, most likely being fear, which we'll cover later. But if the prospect doubles down, says, I don't know, then hit him with the responsibility. Close by saying, does your partner trust you? Prospect says, yes. Okay, whose responsibility is it, whether you actually get results or not? Is it you or your partner? Prospect says, me. Cool. And who's going to be the one going to the coaching calls and implementing the advice that we give you? Is it you or your partner? Yeah, me. Okay. Right. And the other side of this is when you are making 10K per month, in 8 months from now, how do you feel Jesse would be? She'd be over the moon when you're hitting your goal, right? So, I mean, do you feel it's fair to put that decision-making responsibility on Jesse when in reality it's going to be your responsibility? Prospect says, I guess not. Okay, and why not? Prospect justifies the reasoning back to you on why they should make a decision now on this call, and you'll say, all right, so what do you feel like you need to do to put yourself in the best possible position to actually be making 10K per month? And ideally they'll say, yeah, I just got to do it. They also might come back with you and just say, yeah, I still need to talk to my partner. So from here, you'll go for the deposit. You could go for some reframes. I'll talk about those in a later video, but right now we'll just keep this short and talk about going for the deposit. Do you need to ask your partner for permission when you get groceries or go out for lunch? Is there a dollar limit on what you're able to spend before your partner gets involved? They're going to say, yeah, of course. Okay, like I don't need to ask them to buy a coffee at Starbucks or lunch with friends, whatever it may be. Okay, then could I challenge you to put a refundable down payment of $200 as a form of commitment towards making a decision today in order to get you closer to achieving your goal, and then schedule a follow-up with them and their partner on the next call. That is how you handle this objection. Let's hop into the next one. Now let's talk about the fear objection, and there's many ways to overcome this and many different outcomes. I'm just going to go over a few of the ones that I like, and maybe we can make a more detailed video in the future explaining them more in depth. Now, once the prospect confirms that they like your offer and they think it can get them to their goals, then it really just depends on if they have the money or if they're being fearful. If you are not able to uncover a real objection and the prospect has already said that they like your offer and agreed that it can get them to their goals, then you should figure out if they have the money or not by simply asking, so is it a case of uncertainty around the investments, or is it that you don't have the investment? If they don't, move on to money objection. And if they do have the money, follow it up with, okay, got it. Can I ask then, what is the uncertainty about specifically? Is it our offer? Is it yourself, the company? Is it me? Help me understand. This will uncover the type of fear objection, which can be handled in the following ways. Now, if it's fear of themselves about not being able to see results, maybe they have limiting belief in their ability, then simply reframe their mind by using an analogy like the following. Do you remember the first time you drove a car or rode a bike? Yeah. Were you nervous? Yeah. Well, you did it anyway, right? Why? Because you knew you needed to try it in order to make it work. And here, it's no different. I understand it might seem like a big step, and that's why we have our weekly live calls and accountability coach to make sure that you do not fail. We'll give you the vehicle. All you have to do is just hit gas. So what actions do you feel you should take in order to achieve your goal, get the outcome you want? And if they persist, saying, I'm not sure, I don't know, okay. Do you feel you're worthy of investing in yourself? Yes or no? Prospect says yes. why do you feel you're worthy of investing in yourself? Prospect justifies why they should make a decision today. Then you say, okay, do you deserve the results? Yes or no? Of course, they're going to say yes, hopefully. If you deserve the results and you're worthy of the results, then what do you feel is the next step for you to actually get the results based on what we discussed? Based on what we discussed is important to keep in there so they tie everything back to the conversation that you just had with them. If it's about achieving your goal and you agree that what we do will get you to your goal, then from here the question is, are you the type of person who will put in the work and do what it takes to achieve the results? Yes or no? They're going to say yes. Then you'll say, being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. And the reason you're able to make so much from it is because it takes sacrifice, risks, commitment, things that people are nervous to do. And that's why we have our coaching, our community, any tangibles that your offer has, in order to make sure that you do not fail. The roadmap for everything you want to achieve is provided for you. People have done it before you and people will do it again after you. But the question is, are you willing to put in the work? Prospect says, yeah, I am. Okay. Then will you let the fear of the unknown control you? Or are you willing to take that leap of faith? Then they'll say, yeah, okay, I'm willing to try. Reframe, okay, where do you want to go from here? Giving them the sense of control over the conversation when in reality, you had it the entire time. Now let's move on to the next objection that you may be getting, and that is fear of the salesperson or just not having enough trust in you. If they say, yeah, I just met you today. I'm not trying to give you all this money. Okay, yeah, I hear your concern, and I'm happy to go over our testimonials with you on this call. First, may I ask, though, is there anything I've shown you that makes you feel we cannot deliver? Prospect says, not really, no, I guess not, okay. And I assume you've done some sort of research before coming on here today because I imagine you're someone who's busy with a life and doesn't just hop on calls like this all the time, right? Well, yeah, right. And I mean, whether you know me or not, you still want to get your problem solved, right? Prospect says, yep. If we grew up together, say we were childhood best friends, and I showed you the same thing that we went over today, would you want to move forward then? Prospect's like, yeah, I suppose so. And you can say, okay, so the only problem here is that you don't know my last name or where I live. Would you like me to go through our testimonials here with you? Would that make you more comfortable? And I like to add this in as well, just to get them over the edge, over that line. What is the worst case scenario, right? You invest today, and for whatever reason, in 12 months, you haven't made your money back, which is improbable. If you just meet us halfway and follow our framework, which has proven to work for clients in the past. Or option B, where you're making $10K per month in 6 months with your business. I mean, what really is the worst case scenario? Like, yeah, I guess when you put it like that, it doesn't sound too bad. Right, okay, and now what do you think is the next step for you to get those results? Where do you want to go from here? That should close them, and if they have another fear objection, moving on to the final one of being scammed or failing in the past, again, maybe a bit of limiting belief or just trust here. If they say, yeah, I tried a program like this, it was a scam, didn't work, you can follow up with, okay, can you just tell me more about that? Did other people have results? Get a little more clarity on the situation. Find out if it was really a scam. Say, being completely honest with yourself, did you give it 100% of your effort every single day and leave nothing on the table? You might say yes or no, whatever it is. Then you'll say, okay, and we're not asking you to outbox Mike Tyson here, but just to meet us halfway, and we'll be with you every step of the way. Just give them that support, let them know you're going to be there, keeping them accountable. They're not alone in this process. And then you can ask something like, do you remember the first person who broke your heart? They'll probably say, yeah, okay. You can say, did you stop searching for a partner after the first person who broke your heart? They'll say, no, I didn't. Right, because failure is normal. But it's how we respond that makes a difference. Now, will you let your past failures hold you back? Or will you move forward and improve? Which one makes more sense for you? With that in mind, where do you want to go from here? Now that you've successfully just completed watching the only objection handling video that you will ever need, feel free to watch this video here on exactly where to find these remote high-ticket jobs so you can put everything that you learned today into practice. And follow me on Instagram in the top link of the description down below where I give out free value daily. Let me know that you came from this video and I'll send you over all the documents that I covered here today so you can just copy me exactly. That's all for now. Catch you in the next one.